I'm Rob Batchman, and what we're going to do today is learn how to make an actual bow and drill fire. And as you can see here, I've got several different types of materials. Through many failures and successes, we've actually learned how to make a bow and drill fire and how to make it easy for commanders and for boys to do. So what I'm going to do is kind of show you some of the equipment that we've come up with on how to do this. The first thing that we've come up with is for your bow. Your bow is simply any type of stick, a green stick. You don't want anything that's brittle, and a little bit of curve in it, almost like a bow and arrow. And then we use a piece of leather that actually creates the friction on the drill. Again, any type of green stick, and usually anywhere from probably 2.5 to 3 foot long seems to work the best, because you want to be able to get a grip on the stick and you want to be able to maneuver the stick almost like playing a fiddle. Now what we've created here is a handy dandy bow and drill kit that I'm going to show you right here, all dressed up in a pretty Christmas bow. Give one away for Christmas this year to mom and dad and grandma and grandpa. And in this kit we've got instructions exactly on how to make the bow and fire drill, and everything's laid out for you. And then some of our pieces here, and I'm going to actually go through the different pieces and show you how they all work together to make our first bow and drill fire. But before I do that, a couple things that when we get a coal, you're going to need to do something with the coal. The thing that we've found that catches the coal the best is actually cedar bark. And when I say cedar bark, find these strands of cedar on cedar bark on a cedar tree and pull them off, and it works best if it's stringy. You can sometimes find clumps, but these strands of cedar bark, if you'll take them and pull them, you can see some of the dust coming out. But this seems to catch a coal better than anything else we've found, and you actually get your flame going. You can take this, let it dry out for a couple days, or if you're actually on the trail, you find a cedar tree, pull this off, put it in your pocket. It usually dries out within 2-3 hours, and a perfect way to catch your coal. And then when we start today, I found us a leaf, and this just works better than anything out in the open, where you can take the leaf, actually catch the coal onto the leaf, then take the coal and place it into your cedar bark to get your fire. In our kit, again, we have a piece of leather that we use here to put on our bow. Now for the wood, for your bow and for your drill, yucca seems to work best. Now yucca is a natural plant you'll find in the Southwest, desert type of plant. You actually can find it around here in the Southwest Missouri area. It's used as a decorative plant. But yucca seems to be a soft wood that actually can create plenty of dust to create your coal. Also in the kit we've got something to hold your drill here, a little piece of wood that we've cut out to hold your drill. And as we get going, you'll see that the smoother the top end of your drill rotates, of course, the better and the quicker you're going to get a coal. What we simply do, and there's some techniques here, and I'll show you a couple finished product here in a minute, but you take your yucca and you actually will cut it in half. Okay, we're going to make the base of our bow drill fire, so you simply take a knife and your piece of yucca, and you can just split it right in half, and yucca splits very easy, simply like that. Okay. Now there is a technique in how to make the base for your bow drill fire that if you don't follow it, it's gonna be very frustrating for your commanders or for your boys. What you simply do is you want to create a rounded hole for your drill. And what we'll do is, you can see this drill, we've already pre-tested this drill, and you can see right here that this is the actual bow and drill, or drill that's already been created. But there's a certain as you can see, what we do is we have the drill fits right into the base of the yucca. Both pieces are yucca, and as you can see, we've cut it out about the size of a dime or nickel with the slot that comes down the side. Now the reason we do this is how you're actually going to create the coal is the temperature has to get to between 600 and 800 degrees Fahrenheit to actually have a coal. What we'll do is we'll be spinning the two pieces, we'll be spinning the drill and the bottom piece of yucca in your base, and what's going to happen is you're going to get some dust that's going to come out of this base and it's going to land out here on the leaf. The reason that's important is the more dust you have, the better, and eventually that dust is going to catch fire. Again, it needs to be between 600 and 800 degrees Fahrenheit before it's actually going to catch. So if your notch does not allow oxygen to come up and dust to come down, it's going to be very difficult to actually get your coal started. So again, what we do is we've taken our yucca, cut it in half, and simply you will take your knife and round out and create about a dime-sized hole for your coal to fall out of. And it's actually, I call it an upside down V. Again, you want it wider at the base than you do at the top, because we want to create a little reserve for oxygen actually to come in. And don't be afraid if you have to do this several times. Most people don't get it the first try, or the second try, or the third try, or the fourth try. So it goes all the way through. And again, we've started a coal with this one already. Now, what I do is I have my drill, okay? Make sure that's ready to catch a coal. The next part that's really important is making sure that you or your boys have a good position to make this work. Again, what's gonna happen most likely is your drill is gonna come off your bow, and you're gonna be frustrated, and you'll have to set this up several times, but it's worth taking the time to get comfortable, because that's where it all works out at. Now, a key too that we've learned is, if you have a little, we'll have a little fun here, moms and dads, but if you have a little earwax, you can take the other end of your drill, get a little earwax on there, get a little lubrication so that your drill is going to go as fast as you can here on the top part of your bow and drill fire. Okay, we've got our bow. This is one that I've actually had a lot of success. This bow, just the length of it, had a lot of success in getting several fires started. You simply take your drill and curve it. You'll just curve it around in your bow, simply like this. Now what we'll do,
make a spot for it. Okay. Well, we got that. We have that. We have this. And I found a leaf over here. We use this leaf. It's when a dog wags his tail and barks leaf. So we're going to take that and that. And I'm going to keep my hand right here up against my knee right here. And got my spindle there. And we'll see what we got going on here. Okay. Maybe just a hair tight. I'd rather have my string not quite as tight, and not where I can adjust it with my hand here at the bottom. And there's our deal going on there. Now, what you're doing at the very beginning is you're just wanting to create some heat and dust. Okay? So all you're doing is you're making long, winding deal, and I'm not putting any pressure on it. Okay? All I'm doing is creating sawdust and just kind of making a hole. And it's kind of like playing a violin, really, because what I'm doing is preparing the end of that staff to make a sawdust. Okay? And I'm wanting to do is fill that sawdust up with that notch up with sawdust. And then once I get it warming up, I'll get a puff or two of smoke, which you can see a little smoke puffing up. And I'm watching my notch down in there. And when I get her going and get all that dust filling in around there, then I can bear down. You see all that dust around in there? And then I can bear down. The same process. I've got to work it up, warm it up. And then when I get a little smoke on it, I'll prepare to bear down. But what I'm wanting to do is get that hot stuff in that notch. Then bear down. Okay, I think I got a little ember in there. And you got to kind of nurse it a little bit with your hand blowing on it.
You can see the ember, and if you want to take a look here, you can zoom in. Look how big that ember. What that happens is that ember has ignited that sawdust, and you can see, I mean, it stays lit right there. It's actually burning a hole through the piece of paper. But then you simply take that ember, as you can see it right there. Okay. See, I've actually got them sitting right in here, and slowly cover my ember around with my bird's nest and begin to blow. Taking my time. As you can see, it's beginning to catch. There we go.
Okay, and there's fire.
There it is.